First off, I want to thank the brave men and women who work behind the wall. I want to thank them on a national level because their job goes unrecognized.
How do they try to turn a guard?
Well, correctional officer. Sorry, I apologize. But correctional officer.
How you guys doing today? It's Anthony, host of Tier Talk. Great video coming your way from Russ. He's going to talk about comparing that prison guard to correctional officer and the importance of embracing the title of correctional officer, that title that will bring about respect to the profession. But he's talking about it in a way that doesn't minimize the history of who we are. And for some people who hold that title of prison guard to a higher level, to a prestigious level. So again, it's just a balanced, very well done perspective. And it's a perspective to kind of embrace the evolution of where we're at by understanding where we've been, but also to kind of get a better understanding of where we need to be. And in that case here, to get that respect, people are thinking from the outside that guard, officer has something a little bit more powerful connected to that. And Russ is going to give his explanation on that, and I think it's a great perspective. Now guys, as always, if you guys haven't, please, the channel Tier Talks for you brave men and women that work in corrections. So subscribe, interact, engage, comment, hit that bell. That bell's going to notify you every time I post a video. We're going to go to our sponsors, and when we come back, Russ is going to give his perspective on prison guard versus correctional officer. All right, Russ, the show will be yours after the sponsor.
I wanted to attend a university that had an intelligence program. I wanted to look at problems different. I wanted to increase my critical thinking abilities. AMU offered those avenues to expand. Obtaining your degree as an adult, you're actually paying yourself and investing in yourself. You can't put a dollar on it, it's priceless. It's something that can never be taken away from you.
American Military University. Learn from the leader.
Hey there, Tier Talk fans and keepers of chaos. Russ Hamilton here. So today's video, as you can see by the title, is basically something that comes up so much of the time that sometimes I get a little bit sick of it. However, I'm going to explain the particular way that I view this particular subject, this particular, sometimes somewhat of a controversy or whatever. I'm going to put my 2 cents worth in. I hope that my 2 cents worth will become your 2 cents worth, or that at least that we can have some honest, good dialogue about it, maybe below somewhere. But as you see, this topic is prison guard versus correctional officer. That's right. So let me start out by saying this, first of all. I loved having this job. This job was the greatest thing for me. It brought me not just a paycheck, it brought me a chance to rise to challenges every day and to be able to, prove to myself all the time, that I was capable of, making the grade, as it were. And I just enjoyed those challenges. I enjoyed being able to go in there and make the place safer. I enjoyed being able to find all the weapons and phones and stuff like that. I enjoyed my time as a sergeant, being able to, train people and give them direction for what they were doing and what they were hoping to accomplish. And so I think that this job oftentimes is shortchanged by that particular term, prison guard. However, during my time in there, for most of it, I was one of those, I didn't care. You called me a prison guard, give me my paycheck, let me do what I wanted to do at work. I was good with it. That's one side. That's one element of this thing, right? The other side of it is, who is anyone to call us a prison guard? That's not what we do. That's not the title we've earned. That's not what we were trained in. So that has a valid point too. So we have two valid points here. And you know what? Both of them are right. But also, in a sense, both of them are wrong. And I'm gonna get to that and explain just what I mean. But we got to go over some other things first to just start off, because when we talk about the particular one-term prison guard, the place where we hear it and see it and it does the most offense to some people out there sometimes, is in the media, in television, online magazines, social media, newspapers, all of that, right? And what happens is some journalist comes along and they just threw out some whole article, whether it's favorable to us or unfavorable to us, it's just, prison guard, prison guard, prison guard, prison guard, prison guard, right? Well, what does that tell you about any particular journalist that's doing that? Well, a journalist is supposed to know English and punctuation and what words mean. And they're supposed to be factually accurate in their reporting and unbiased and objective. Well, come on. In this case, whenever they do that, they don't know. They don't know the proper title to use for us. It's the title that's in probably every penal code out there, just about. There may be some variations. Some places might be correctional officer, some might be correctional deputy, correctional specialist, what have you, but it's not prison guard, right? So that tends to ruffle a lot of feathers and stuff, and maybe for good cause. So anyway, what I've tended to find is that I've been writing a lot of these journalists, especially, from media and stuff, when they use that term prison guard, and I've just, taken them to task a little bit, not taking them to task, but in a nice way, and just expressing to them that they're making a mistake. And, hopefully if they're truly any kind of professional at all, they'll see that they've been making that mistake. And so, let me just, read you. This is a typical one. If you want to, get in on this and, write to them when you see that too, you should. We should all be ambassadors for this, great job that we've got, for this great profession. So anyway, this is what I tend to write them. You should write them in your own style though. And so this is what I do generally. Dear blank, I write to you concerning your article about blank. While I enjoyed the article, there was a part which I know to be factually inaccurate, which is your use of the term prison guard. That is inaccurate since, as far as I know, not a single department in the U.S. has any personnel which go by that title. The more common and correct term would be correctional officer. This is more accurately descriptive of what we do on a day-to-day basis, and is also that which is described in most penal codes and other codes throughout the country. Furthermore, the term prison guard is considered by many in this profession to be a pejorative term, and its use is frowned upon among us who walk this, the toughest beat in the nation. So, there you have it. That's what I tend to write to these journalists. And I've had good feedback from everyone I've written to except for one. And I think that, that's a pretty good indicator, at least, that we can make some headway in this. So, the part that I don't like necessarily about people becoming inflamed or upset with regard to the use of the term is that it doesn't do anything to help us. To become indignant, to wear our rage, to be offended, it does absolutely nothing for us. And that's why I try to take the time to write people like this, to explain to them that even just in any social media platform or when we're talking to people and stuff, rather than become, upset or enraged or whatever term you want to use, I think it's much better to use that as a chance to instruct and enlighten and further our cause. Because, heavens knows, we need our cause furthered. We are in the shadows. We've been in the shadows. Oftentimes we remain unacknowledged and underappreciated or not appreciated at all. So we need to all be ambassadors to spread the word, not to get upset with people, not to, get up there and, want to, fight them back with words or whatever. We want to be able to tell them, hey, that's old terminology. Those prison guards, those may indeed in some departments or not, or one way or another be our professional ancestors. I'm sure that, as a matter of fact, that those prison guards, I'm sure that they were upstanding people, some of which, poured out the full measure in order to protect the public. But we've become more than that. And the thing about this is that in order to get where we want to be in corrections, we have to shed that old prison guard thing where people envision the knuckle draggers and the guys just, giving an inmate a tune-up, that kind of thing. We have to shed that image. We need to become that term, that correctional officer. I'm sure that, in fact, really that we are already there. Everyone listening that's in this business to me right now, you're a professional. This is what you've chosen to do. And it's a damn noble profession at that, but it's often shortchanged. So we have to progress. We have to evolve. We have to come to deserve all of the things that we need to get to really, truly make a difference for ourselves in this profession, for our safety, for the safety of the inmates, for the safety of the public. I know that most of you may not have any idea the number of conversations that I have in any given week where a particular correctional officer is talking to me about all of the equipment that they don't have, that they just get shortchanged. Their department's cutting corners. Their department doesn't care about how much manning they're cutting out. There's just, one staff shortage day after another. In order to rectify those things, we have to really move the chains. We have to move forward. We have to work at getting status. I'd like to see, someday every correctional department out there, everyone have peace officer status. I had it when I worked in California, and it was a great thing to have to, get all that training that comes with it, all the equipment that comes with it, the pay that comes with it. We need to get those things, and we're not going to do it by just saying, I don't care. Just give me my paycheck. You might be saying that, and you might be a fantastic officer, and really be doing a bang up job and stuff. But the thing is, you're not helping move the chain for the rest of everyone else who's being held back. We need to come together. We need to unify. We need to present a front which exudes that professionalism. That's where we need to be. And so when we're talking about the difference between prison guard and correctional officer, people need to start seeing that there is indeed a difference. The things that we're required to do that those old prison guards weren't. I mean, look at what we have to deal with having to know all of these laws, search, seizure, arrest. You have to know prison gangs. You have to be able to identify drugs. You have to be able to, write reports, justify all your uses of force, be able to communicate and de-escalate situations. You have to be able to wade in there in a riot and be able to, sort it all out at the end of the day. What we do is fantastic. And I'll tell you, I've seen so many times over so many years where staff have just, come to a situation, a critical incident, where people are going to lose their lives, where people have been stabbed and beaten and, just involved in some of the most gruesome crimes you can imagine. And seeing those staff members rise to the occasion and take back that yard, take back that cell block time after time after time. This is a great profession. It's really noble. And I think that that's why we have to evolve from that prison guard viewpoint that the public sees us at to that correctional officer. Otherwise, we're just going to languish in a way that we just become all but useless. We've got to start embracing some of the things that we don't want to embrace, like rehabilitation. You know, we need to be the ones that help facilitate that by keeping our facilities safe, by making it so that some inmates will take advantage of that situation and will become productive citizens. They will rehabilitate themselves. It's not saying all of them are going to do it. I have my doubts. I have a lot of doubts about that. But we're only going to get there by providing those things. The only way that we're going to come out of the shadows and be recognized for the truly magnificent professionals that we are. So anyway, hope everyone took this to heart. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that maybe I've caused people to see that, you know, that's the direction that we need to focus on. Not just saying, screw it, I don't care. They can call me, you know, a three-toed sloth, as long as I get my paycheck. Nor do we need to be that thing where we're, you know, offended by the term prison guard. Don't take it as offense. Take it as an opportunity. You know, turn that opportunity into a chance to let people know what we really do. So anyway, if you like this video, share it out there, and everyone stay safe. This is Russ Hamilton signing off.